whoever did this, I can kill it.
Hi, Amber. It's Miguel from Brazil. Arroba Nerd. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hi, Dakota. It's Miguel from Brazil.
Hello, how are you today?
What's your personal involvement with the Predator franchise in general? Did you watch it as a kid? You were a fan?
My previous experience with the Predator was mostly just the first one. Like so many other people, I had seen the first one, and I had enjoyed all those iconic lines. But after I got the part, I went back and watched all the rest of the movies and made sure that I knew what I was getting into.
I was aware of the movies, obviously, and really mostly just how it kind of has permeated into like pop culture, a lot of the famous lines, a lot of the references and stuff like that. But no, I mean, the first movie came out before I was born, so I missed that one a little bit. But definitely, obviously, once I found out what this was, went back and got familiar with all of them and watched them and stuff. So that was, very fun to get to kind of go back and learn. And now I've seen the first one so many times.
I want to ask you what was for you to put in the Naru costume and looking yourself in the mirror for the first time that you got to shoot your scenes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was honestly amazing. I mean, we spent so much time putting this stuff together, like so many fittings, making sure that all the pieces of the costume made sense, because obviously I was just adorned with so many things on my body, like the satchel, the bow and arrow, and the weapons, the belt, the tomahawk, and then the face paint, and figuring out, for each of us, we spent so long putting that together that I think to like show up and see it, I really felt like I was looking at her. I really felt like I was looking at, myself, but inside of somebody else. And also it was a cool thing to like see myself in full buckskin also, because this is the first time I've ever done a period piece. So to look at that and kind of think about times when that was just how it was, for like my ancestors or for our ancestors, just to like roll around in teepees and buckskins and stuff like that. That was also like a cool kind of transcendent experience.
Yeah, in the 2021 Hollywood Diversity Report showed that native representation was found between 0 and 0.5%, with more native women being less like to be represented. How do you feel to be in a Disney live action production like Prey that such a wide reach globally that speak to a global audience? Do you think it just helps indigenous representation in Hollywood? Can you comment a little bit about that?
I think it does. Like you said, indigenous representation as the main protagonists has been something that we haven't really seen before. Particularly, the main character being a woman is very unusual. But I think when people watch this movie and when they see, I believe people will really like this movie. I think it will kind of give filmmakers a little bit more bravery to say, hey, maybe we should make some more movies like this with these kinds of people. Because I think people find it very interesting and fascinating. And when it's done right, I don't see anything that should bother anybody else.
What was one or two things that were like, oh my God, I cannot wait for people to see this?
My favorite part of the movie was, for me, riding a horse. I think that was a really cool scene. There's the trapper horses there. And so I get to take one of those and, do some work with it. So that was fun for me. And I think it's very visually cool.
There's a sequence between my character and Michelle Thrush's character, who plays my mom, that I am really excited about. And I think that it's, especially for a movie, especially for an action movie, I think it's so well put into our film. So I'm excited for that. And I mean, just every single action sequence I think is so exciting and so fun. And there's not one that I think is boring or ever that feels repetitive. There's so many moments for multiple characters that are just exciting or, kind of have you on the edge of your seat, that I think is exciting.
What did you and Amber most enjoy about the dynamic between your characters? They are brothers, but in the beginning of the movie, they kind of compete with each other, and now after the events they get together in the battle. How was your process with Amber to this dynamic?
One thing that I really loved about this movie is that people get to experience love that is not romantic. You know, you have two characters who are siblings who truly care about each other, and love like that is different than you see often in screens. You know, we all see romantic movies, but when you see a big brother who cares about his sister and doesn't want her to be hurt, you know, also doesn't want to keep her from the things that she loves, that was exciting for me, because it's a different kind of emotion than a lot of times we're used to seeing.
This movie has a lot of VFX done because of the Predator. What was for you to actually see the finished movie with all the visual effects and everything? Did you watch already or not? Or how was your relation with the movie? Finished movie.
You know, it was so cool to see it come to life. You know, we get to act with like the Predator. For me, most of the time was in a ADI suit, so he looks a lot like he does on screen. But then they add little details with CGI, or they'll add, you know, a certain kind of animal via CGI that we didn't have access to. You know, because obviously we can't really kill real animals on screen. But once you see that and it looks so realistic, it just kind of blows my mind what they can do with these computers and with these talented people editing our movie.